Welcome, welcome. In chat, you'll find the presentation. You can go ahead and download that, follow along, or if you're watching this recording, it's in the description. Feel free to download that presentation. It has all the links in it. Today, we're going to be talking about ZCM 2020 U3. We did an appliance upgrade once on a ZENcast. Now we're doing a Windows OS upgrade, just to give you a little bit of flavor for that. Today is June 6, 2023, and we're here to check that out. Let's move on to the lab. So we have today's presentation. Next time we're going to be doing ZSD 23.3, what's new. So you will see what the latest things that are going on in ZSD. You may wonder what ZENcast Live is. Well, it's a forum for ZenWorks community, ZenWorks admins, or anybody interested in ZenWorks and how it works. These are recorded, so you can always follow through and check them out later. We broadcast every first and third Tuesday at 9 o'clock Mountain Time, North America. There's details and recordings are all listed in. Let's go here. All listed on the website for the on-demand, ZENcast on-demand. You can find the playlists out here for support and training. Oh, I got somewhere very weird. Let's try that again. Support and training YouTube channel. Microfocus. There we go. See if we get that. No, it's asking for customization. Hang on. We don't want that. Let's move on to this one here. All right, so let's go back to our presentation here. Again, we are ZENcast Live, and we'll get to that support and training YouTube channel. I need to change this link, it looks like. Let's go on. Housekeeping. Log into YouTube. You can then chat with us. You can subscribe and notifications. Best viewing is 720p 60. And as I mentioned, the video recordings are posted. Check the description for any links, and please give comments and likes or dislikes. And also put in the comments if you have a request for a particular ZENcast you'd like to see. These are all the tidbits and crumbs that I have. There's ZCM debugging, just to let you know some of the latest TIDs that are out there that may pertain to what you're doing. For instance, imaging driver update. We have a imaging driver update for May of this year. There, this will line it up better. So you can go out here, use this link, and you can get to your imaging driver update, the installation, the download information, and so forth. The one thing you may know if you've been with ZenWorks a long time, you know that, that the 3418069 is a popular debugging for ZCM. You log in. And that, I guess they took it offline because that is being changed over to this master debug logging reference and updated. Okay, so here we have more details about the different TIDs. If you're doing ZenWorks server or agent or patch, if you're looking for different things, we've now reorganized the TID and you can get to different TIDs from this location. So this 3418069 has been around ever since I remember with ZenWorks. And so we've finally decided to change it up and give it a little bit different adjustment so that you can get to those TIDs and give it a little more detail. All right. Other things like how to enable logging for the ZCM servers out here. ZCM beta starting soon. That is actually started. If you're still interested, you can always send an email to zen@microfocus.com. We do have a ZSD beta coming this week. Where is it going? Boy, my links aren't quite how they should be. Team collab. So you can join the public beta for ZenWorks Service Desk. It's starting this week. And we meet on Thursdays. It'll be a short one, 3, but you can figure out and look at all the different enhancements that we have coming in. All right. Some of the crumbs, the monthly webinar topics. The one that's coming up in June will be ZSD Best Practices by Oliver. So look forward to that. If you want to register, you can go out here and see the past ones or register so that you get notifications about all of the monthly webinars for ZenWorks. All right. Also be aware that Lifecycle ended in April. All right, for ZenWorks. So if you went out to Lifecycle page, ZenWorks, and not to panic because we could get you there. Just give us a call. You can see here that April 2023 current maintenance status. So be sure to get on update 3. We got 4 right around the corner. So you want to get those enhancements and security fixes and just the security architecture in place. All right. A little recap of last week, ZCM remote management. We talked about the benefits, operation tasks, options, some references and integrations, a little bit about remote listener, and then we did a couple demos on that and how the recording, you have the recording now and so forth. Today we're going to be talking about ZCM 2020 Update 3 Windows upgrade. We're going to learn about understanding the upgrade process, post-upgrade, tools, troubleshooting, and there'll be links in this presentation as well. The benefits, of course, the latest fixes, the recently added security, which you'll see through this demo, the best system performance, and of course, up-to-date support as well as the latest features. Okay, we're going to actually kick off the demo here before going too far, just so that we can fit it all in during our presentation today. You can see we're at 2020 Update 2. Let me see if I can go a little bit bigger. And we'll go and log in. We'll just use administrator for now. A couple of things to note, and we're going to come up with them in the slides. You can see we have the system updates. June PRU is out there, so make sure you download and update your PRU. We have ZenWorks Update 3. We got through the system updates. We've downloaded it. It's been successful that far. We're waiting for authorization. So once you do that, if you've gone through this once, you know this process because you can actually set your permissions on who can do authorization and so forth. So things don't go awry. We're going to go ahead and do a authorize update. And we can see then that authorize update is cleared and awaiting configuration. Okay, so it is ready to deploy. One thing we want to make sure we do is there's a couple of gotchas that you want to make sure that you don't fall into. It's over on this slide here, pre-upgrade. If you have multiple primaries and satellite server roles, you want to do the master primary first, or at least the primary with the database. Remember, it does the database and the primary server all in one, and then after that you do the rest of your primaries, then satellites and so forth. No certificate deployments. Okay, make sure there aren't any certificate deployments. It'll halt you, and no patch replications and downloads. All right, just a couple of things to note. So you can see there's a certificate remint in process. I'm going to go ahead and clear this out. I'm going to go ahead and select these 17, and this is for example. We're going to go ahead and toggle ignored. Now that doesn't mean it won't go out there and do it. That means it'll halt it for now. It'll keep retrying on a regular basis, I'm told by development. All right. So notice that the certificate is gone now. The other thing we want to check is our security to make sure our our security patch management we got to go to configuration and security and subscription service. Make sure that this is complete and not in process, right? So that way it doesn't interrupt anything that you're doing for your configuration on update 3. We'll go back to system update 3 and we will go to action and we'll go ahead and configure the update. Now that's a little bit new than what you've seen before, right? Normally it's been deploy update. Well, notice it goes to 7444 and this is a port, and this is because I don't have my DNS on this box. So let me go here. Okay, and it's going to come up with this particular wizard. All right, this is the introduction. It tells you a few things you want to make sure. It runs with the embedded database and ensure that the primary server database is updated before any other primary servers. We just talked about that. One primary and the database, get it taken care of. So that's all done. So that way when the new primaries come in, they're talking the update 3 language. Okay. ZenWorks primary server currently uses a single Tomcat instance, which hosts both the client and administrative services. If not secured properly, by the following best practices, this can pose some security threats, and you'll find that in the documentation. ZenWorks Update 3 client and administrative servers will run on separate instances of Tomcat, right? And this helps enhance the security when you have the update to update 3, okay? Before it was all on one, now we have them split off, okay? And that's going to be the client services will continue to run on port 443. All right, new Tomcat's instance will host administrative services, including the ZenWorks Control Center. This will require a new port configured before deploying the system update. Okay, and that'll happen in your upgrade. The specified port will be used to run across services across all primaries, and then memory recalibrations. Making sure that memory recalibration is taken care of. Depending on usage, the services may need to be reconfigured separately on each primary server. All right, we're going to go next, and it's going to go to the control center port. This is where you can manually set. By default, it's 7443. This is that second security port that we just talked about. The client still run on 443. This administrative services and ZCC will run on this particular port. We'll leave it 7443 and we'll hit finish. All right. To deploy the update, go to ZenWorks Control Center, Configuration System Update, select the update and deploy to update devices. Now we can go back and we will see, we probably have to refresh. Ready to deploy now. All right. Now we can deploy to devices. And we're going to do the first primary. Our first primary has the Postgres database on it. So we will force the device to reboot. I'm going to add, and it's basically servers. And we are at this server here. Next. We're going to do this now. Next. And we're going to do finish. Now notice it does have the prompt for 7444 system update status. We'll go ahead and select this so it opens up another tab. I'm going to have to put in my IP address again in here. And there's nothing scheduled that it sees because we haven't hit OK yet and finish. So now you can see it's scheduled. We have one device, which is our primary server. All right. Now if we go back over here, we'll see that it's initializing the system update on that primary server. Okay, it's going to go do its thing now. We can get back to some of the other details about the update. We'll go ahead and go there and watch that. All right, let's go back here. So we talked a little bit about the understanding the prerequisites on all the devices, right? Not just the primary servers, but also remember you have endpoints and satellites that have different requirements. So you have primary server requirements, of course the VM requirements if you have a virtual appliance, managed device requirements as well, and satellites. Okay, so managed devices, you can see there's still some support for 2017 update 1, and you could read through those details. Okay, primary server requirements, trying to stay up on the latest Windows servers and SLES. Of course, RAM is 16 gigabytes now. Disk space is 40 gigabytes for installation. Make sure you have that disk space free. So there's some details in here that will really help you out should you need to double check your prerequisites. Also the supported hypervisors. All right, and you know we're using Docker now, so there's a Docker specifications there. All right, there is a listed platforms no longer supported, just so you're aware, for managed device and inventory only devices. So be aware that some of those legacy OSs are not supported. Okay. Again, hypervisor, server OS, database, and endpoints. This is the upgrade path. So if you're on 2020, you can go up to update 2, then to 3. If you're on 2020 update 1, obviously you have to get to 2 before you can get to 3. If you're on update 2, you go directly to 3, as we're doing here today. There's some details on the software license download, being able to download the licenses and to activate the licenses. So those details are there. And if I remember correctly, if you have an appliance, the appliance registration key is not new. You could use the same one that you've had. Okay. Some other details about the upgrade: deployed to the first primary server and database. We mentioned that a few times. Then the other primary servers. Make sure it says successful before you move on, right? So ZCC, make sure ZCC shows successful after doing the first primary server, because once it's complete in ZCC, or the upgrade shows, we failed. What happened here? Rerun. What are the details here? Prerequisite check failed. Oh, I don't have 4.8. That I didn't check. Okay, well, that put a little delay in our... Let's go over to our VM. All right. Did I have it in my downloads? No, see, I didn't look at my prereq, so it basically said I'm staying on update 2 at this time. So we're going to go ahead and download .NET 4.8. Oh, I might have it. Oh, I think I do have it over here, because I've done this in test. Do I have .NET in here? View migration. Nope. Let's go back out to Microsoft .NET 4.8. Copy. I'll copy it local. Downloads. Paste. I reverted my snapshot, so it I didn't see it in here to run it. And run as administrator. This may take a couple minutes, but shows how it does do error correction and understanding what's going on. It helps you get this nailed down right. So this is going to extract here. Not sure how long that's going to take. Let's go back over to, okay, so that's still scheduled, but not, it's no longer running now. All right. We're going to go back over to our presentation. So if we look at our prerequisites, primary servers, probably have .NET 4.8 over here somewhere. Right here. Okay. Let's see if it's going to continue the install. Where did it go? Oh, it's right there. Let's see if this works. All right, there it goes. All right. Yes, I have read. Let's go ahead and install. See if there's anything else for the wizard for us today. I think that was it, just install. Okay, good. Now let's go back over to our presentation. All right. Again, successful at each stage of this upgrade. Deploy to first primary, successful. And what I was saying is the install happens, it's complete, and this page would say complete, but that doesn't mean it's successful in ZCC, only because it has to do the prepackaged agent updates, okay, for the ZA agents. So be aware, wait for ZCC to say successful. Once that's done, deploy to other primaries, successful. Deploy to all your satellites, next, successful. And then deploy to your endpoints as needed. Okay? And then post-upgrade, other system communication. Remember, we've changed that port to 7443 now for ZCC. So ZSD, when you're doing AMI imports from your ZenWorks zone to ZenWorks Service Desk, you need to make sure you change that to 7443. As well as your ZRS, make sure it's communicating. Your ZCC obviously is port 443. Also, if you have Hybrid Workspaces Studio and you're uploading to ZenWorks, the bundle you create in Studio, you need to also make sure that you have 7443 there too. All right. Next, so administrator rights. Making sure that you have administrator rights. You can check the zone server roles. I'm sorry, that's not administrator rights, it's Zen server roles. So you want to check Zen server roles to make sure you know which, first off, which primary has the database, if you have an internal database. Also, which is a master primary or what roles are on each device. So this particular TID is really good about checking this out in your database. So you could see here that we cut and pasted the PostgreSQL on that database, and we can see the different roles. Obviously, this is the only primary server, so it has all the roles. If you had others, there's a few roles that only pertain to one primary server, which is typically the master primary. Database is one of them if it has an internal database. Master primary is another one. There's only one primary server that's a master primary. And I think cert auth as well. Okay, or device cert auth. I'm not sure which. All right, so this will at least get you a good view of the host name, the roles that it has, so that you can make sure you deploy to that first primary server successfully. Okay, let's go see what's going on over here. Yeah, it's going to be a little while, isn't it? And I didn't snapshot 3. Okay, we'll rerun that as soon as our 4.8 is done. Back to the presentation. All right, we made sure that there's no certificate deployments, no patch replications or downloads are going on. And the SU download, you can see what's going on your server by looking at the system update log. So C, program files, Novell, ZENworks, and then in this, let's go here. We go to work, content repo, system update, and we can find the GUID. So here's update 3. This is, let's see if I can go a little bit bigger. I can go a little bit bigger. So this is basically the 5.0. We got 2.0, which is 2020, ZCM 2020, update 03, and this is the GUID for it. So if we went in here and we looked at this system update, do I have Notepad++ on here? No, we'll go to Notepad then. That's ugly. Let's go here, go full screen. Go ahead and close this. Let me see where my downloads. I don't have Notepad++ on here. Yeah, I reverted and everything reverted. Okay, so let's go do that again. Oh, I'll find it. Let's go here. Let's go products, Notepad++. Oh, language. We'll just take this one and we'll just run it from here. It's a little bit easier to view. And it's a quick install, so that's good. How's our .NET working? Oh, this may be a long... Yeah, make sure you get that done before you have your downtime, huh? All right, so we can close this. We're also going to go and install a language. Import. And we're going to go Notepad++ language. And we're going to do ZENworks logging. Import was successful. And so, hello. Let's close. No, we're not going to do an upgrade right now. Let's go back out here. We're going to go language. Nope. Language. There we go. Now let's open up. Program files. Novell. ZENworks. Logs. System update. We'll go to the right GUID. And we'll check out system update. Let's close this. I want this dock. Oh, undock. There we go. All right. Nope. All right. So if we go to the bottom of this, here it should give us the report. Error check prerequisite. Failed. Okay. All right. And this will be overwritten once the next one is run, I believe. So we can close this now. We have that in place. This is still running. Let's go back to our presentation. All right, so that was for the SU download to see where the system update was. Actually, the work content is where the system update GUID repository is. The logs I went to is where we saw the system update. So whether you're on Linux or you're on Windows, you can go there, you can have it, you can tail that so that you can constantly see what's going on while it's doing its update. Again, verify upgrade of primary servers to other system communications, whether you have, something linked for OpenID or advanced authentication or whatever. All right. And then you have ZCM debugging, which we talked a little bit about. We have the master debugging reference, and then how to enable. One of the most recent is how to enable debug logging on a ZCM server. Oh, 4.8 was done. Okay, finish. All right. We're going to go ahead and rerun that. We're going to have to restart. Let's go ahead and restart. The problem is this guy takes a while. This VM doesn't have all the resources. Let's do a cancel. Let's go close. We will go. And where'd my screen go? I think it was in the process of updating. Wow, it didn't give me anything on that update. Restart anyway. I said cancel and it didn't give me my desktop. Let me see if I can pass. Control Delete. Okay. Task Manager. We'll go ahead and shut down. From here. Well, let's do a restart. I was going to actually power down and do a let's go sign out. Oh, there it is. And do a quick snapshot since we got 4.8 installed. All right, shutting down. All right. Oh, it's going to do its update. Yeah. All right. We'll be back to it. Okay. So enable debug logging. I think it was coming in here. So remember there's different ways of doing debug logging. So this is for the primary servers. And it gives you details about enabling debug. Windows is setup.exe, this one's setup.sh, enable debug Windows server or Linux server. You're basically setting the level. Okay, I have one of those. Log location, again, is ZenWorks home logs. And gives you some additional details about diagnostic probe and multi-zone and so forth, depending on what you have set up. All right, let's go back here and see if it's still at 30. All right. And then one thing to remember, I put ZENcast on the list here. And part of that is because if support is asking for logs, normally it's the loader logs or the service messages logs or those types of things. If you run ZENcast, it captures everything in those directories. So that's just a little tip to let you know that it will capture everything, including the loader messages and the server messages logs. So it does become quite large because, as we know, ZENcast is a large file just on agents, but it's also adding in those server logs as well. So just be aware of that. But that's a quick tip that I learned back in support, just go ahead and have them run ZCM so you don't have to find the location of the logs and all that. You'll just package them all up and present them to you. Okay, we have a couple of references here, again with links. We do have the upgrade documentation here, which we showed earlier. And again, if you're upgrading from update 1 to update 2, certain things you need to do. If you update from 2 to 3, then these are the details. So there is a couple of steps, as you can see on the upgrade path chart, that you need to be aware of. So understanding the upgrade path, depending on which system you are on. Remember, going from 2017 to 2020, if you have the SQL database, you go over to Postgres before you move to 2020. All right, and there are ZENcasts on each one of these. If you go back in the history when we did our upgrades. All right, let's go back over here, see what we got. Oh, it's going to be a long day. All right, so rule number 1, make sure all your prerequisites are done, right? Okay. Oh, stopping services. We will take a quick snapshot so we don't have to go through that again in case something goes kaput. All right. Waiting for it to shut down. Getting a little anxious here. There we go. Done. Good. Do a quick snapshot. ZCM 2020 U2 with .NET 4.8. And the date. Snapshot. All right, then we'll power this guy back up. My experience, oh, that's what I was going to do. No, I have 16 gig. Okay. My experience is this guy just takes a little while for everything, all the services to be started up. So I definitely would have been better off if my first round that I snapshotted things. All right, so we showed you some of the details about finding your primary servers, and this will list both primary and satellite servers, by the way. All right, and all their roles. Okay, and then what it does is it does the order by type. So all the primaries will be at the top, and then the host names, and then the position. Okay. All right. Where are we at? All right. And if you have other databases, these are the other scripts to do. So this is a very handy TID for you to check that out. And that can be done. It doesn't affect anything, but just as a query. So it's good to see how if you run it maintenance or whatever, it works real well. All right, this is still live because I haven't refreshed the screen. I'm going to go ahead and bring up another VM. Hang on a second. Let me find it. Where are you? Oh, that's right. You're over here. Okay. I think I have 160 up here. That's, or 150. 160 service desk. 50. No, possibly not. Yes. So notice I just went to the normal ZCC port. This one's been upgraded to update 3. And going to the normal port, it'll say, oh, by the way, you need to go to the additional port. All right, 7443. So it redirects you to 7443. So if we log in here, we can see this is pretty much done, our configuration. Now, once that's complete, you then will work, if you have patch, you will then start upgrading your patch, which is removing there's certain steps you have to do to upgrade your patch subscription service so that you get the new on-demand patch subscription service, because the old is still configured. And I think mine is still the old. I haven't done that yet on this system. So you have to go through some qualifying steps to get it up to the latest patch. And that has to be done by a certain date. I'm trying to remember the date. I think end of year, but I'm not positive. Don't quote me on that. It'll say in the documentation. But it needs to be done at a certain time period in order to, because if you stay on the old patch while you're on update 3, at some point it's just going to not work anymore, because you need to be on the new patch subscription, and you have to find out when that is. But if we go over here, we can see that we've got update 3 in here, right? We've deployed it to 1 or 3 successful machines. Okay, so that's a good thing. And system updates. This is on a Linux box. This is the one we upgraded the last time with the ZENcast. Okay. So let's go ahead and see what we're doing here. So that's what it would look like. This guy's still coming up. This is the issue I have with this guy. All right. So everything's set to go. You can now deploy this to all your primaries. And if we look at our configuration, I don't think I have any primaries in here. Okay, no satellites either. But if there were some, you would then deploy it next to those particular devices just by going hit action deploy, and then you'd go ahead and run through the wizard depending on what it is, add, and we can say workstations, and I don't have any in this particular, oh wait a minute, I do. But these are all prototypes. Let's see if I have any non-prototype. There's one. I can't remember which 3 were done. So we'll just go like this. All right, we'll hit OK. Those are all, other ones are just dummies. All right, you go ahead and hit specific now. Next, finish. They'll be added to the tally. Notice there's 3 more pending now. The other 3 were completed, so they're not going to show up on the to-do list. So these, once these come online or connect, they'll then start being assigned. All right, let's go back to, it's coming up, but very slowly. But we got through the redirection, that little wizard that talked about security and the new port and so forth. Everything beyond that, you've done before. So if you've done an upgrade, you've done that before. It's all standard deploying, just like I did with the system here. Is just checking it and doing deploy and sending it out. Of course, you want to, all of my primaries were done on this system, so you want to make sure all your primaries are next. And yes, you can do it to multiple primaries at that time. Make sure you know that there'll be a restart. So you want to make sure you have downtime for their restart. But yes, you'll basically send it to all those primaries. The second, third, fourth, whatever primaries, and send it to them, and they'll run through. And again, they'll come up with this screen as well. You can always go out to this screen and you'll see all the list of primary servers and their status. Again, once complete, make sure you check ZCC to see if it's completed. Okay, and that way you know it's been successful. And this is the successful over here that I was referring to. If we look at the other system, we could see that these are successful. All right. Okay. Yeah. I have a feeling we won't be able to do this online on our ZENcast today, because it'll take but maybe we can kick it off, right? Let's go back over to our presentation. I don't think there's too much left. We have references and integrations, making sure that you have checked that communication between them. Let's talk a little bit about the schedule as that device is still trying to come up. Today's June 6th. The 20th we'll do what's new in ZSD 23.3. July we won't be streaming on the first Tuesday because it's a US holiday, but on the 18th we'll do a what's new in ZCM 23.3. Okay, I don't know that we've done, or actually, yeah, ZCM 23.3. So that's the new one, which is update 4. And y'all may know or may not know that OpenText, now that we've been acquired by OpenText, their versioning cadence is year and quarter. So ZCM is going to have a release in 2023 quarter 3, and it's calendar quarter. All right. And then in August, we're going to do speed up ticket responses with group templates. That's going to be a ZSD, which really will, if you're using ZenWorks Service Desk, you can really automate things. So we're going to talk about automation here. Some future requests, which we have here, we're going to be covering update 3 or update 4, as well as some enhancement series. There's ZCM tracking devices and licenses. All right, protecting using encryption, bundles, and tips and tricks and stuff as well. So those are available there. It looks like it's getting there slowly. And then, of course, what would you like to see? Email us at zen@microfocus.com. We'd like to know what you'd like to see on the ZENcast. Here is that on-demand library I was talking about that I had a wrong link in. All right, we have our monthly webinars, which are here. Again, June's monthly webinar is the 3rd Thursday, and the 3rd Thursday will be the 22nd. Oliver is going to do a ZenWorks Service Desk best practices. All right, that's going to be after our what's new in 23.3. Okay, because we're doing that on the 20th. Then, of course, July, August. You have our schedule here. You also have future requests. Some of the things we've already done, either through webinars or through the ZENcast, and you can find all of them in here, whether it's a monthly webinar or whether it is a ZENcast. We have it all laid out here. So that way you can actually do a find right here. And let's say I'm talking imaging. We can see all the imaging. All right. So makes it real handy to find the link in the YouTube on-demand schedule and links to the actual recording. All right, let's go back over here. Yeah. Okay. So please send us in your details, and if you are watching the recording, any likes or comments, please put them on the recordings. That's very helpful to us to make sure that we're on the right track for this forum. Next step would be to see what's in the version update. Notice the June PRU is available. We also have the imaging update for May 2023 is available for you. The links are there. We're on ZRS 7.8. 8.11 should be released anytime now. I think I said that last time. I think it's in June. Late June, we're going to be releasing that. And then ZSD 8.3.1, security updates. Make sure if you have appliances, every quarter the appliance gets security updates. So go into the online updates and make sure you run those to keep your vulnerabilities down and your security up. Okay, and that's not just for ZSD, but also ZCM and any other appliance you may have, Filer or whatever. If you're looking to get into any of the public betas, there's a 23.3 here. There's also a ZSD 23.3, which is version 8.4. It's coming out the beginning of July. It's going to have these features. We're starting that this Thursday. So be aware that that's coming, and if you want to register for that, please email us, and we'll be happy to put you on the list to get a sneak peek and exercise those things and get direct input to the developers, being able to comment and give them your opinion and what you as a customer would use that feature for. And again, some of the futures: ZCM 23.3 is in August, ZRS 811 anytime in June here, ZSD 23.3 beginning of July, and then hybrid workspaces is in August as well. Those are some of the futures that are coming up. Here's some more community cool solutions and videos that have been out there. Feel free to click through these. They're just here for your consumption. If they pertain to you, if you need, you have a particular issue, you might find that there's a TID written up and somebody's already experienced that. So you can go ahead, and we even had a U3 4.8 issue. Let's see what that's all about. So there's a discussion out here about 4.8 and some of the issues that were reported update failure, updating primary services from update 3 or to update 3. So it may pertain to you. So those tags in this presentation might be helpful. All right. .NET may fail, upgrade scenarios, and so forth. What is the update scenarios? Oh, that's the readmes. Yeah. That's this page here. Okay. All right. And some additional things here from the community. Do know that there are other live casts, not only the ZENcast, but there's Filer the first Thursday, Groupwise Enterprise Messaging the second Thursday, our ZenWorks webinars on the third Thursday, and OES iPrint on the fourth Thursday. So there's plenty out there. If you have these different products, you're able to tap right into resources, ask questions, even if it's not pertaining to that particular topic. We're happy to answer those for you. There's Gartner UEM Quick Questionnaire and a Cuppinger-Cole Analyst Report. Do know that there's TTP USA 2023 coming in person in Provo, Utah. July 15th, 16th is the workshop. July 17th through 21 will be the sessions. There will be recordings of these, as well as I think there's an online presence as well. So you can participate online if you're not coming in person. We'd love to see you out there. The TTP USA link is here. You can go to the conference. A draft of the conference is here. And you can see there's eDirectory, hybrid workspaces, how customers are actually using some of the data. And for instance, this one, Fun with Open Source GIS and Your Educational Data, presented by Johnny. Authentication and made easy and super fast. So these are customers, partners, as well as open text individuals. Vibe solves all your problems. Access Manager, Identity Console, ZSD. I have a couple presentations in there. There's going to be some ZenWorks presentations. OAuth and containers and OpenSUSE. How to combine them all. And then some hands-on workshops as well. You can see these are half-a-day hands-on workshops on Wednesday. Okay. Then we have 2 full-day workshops on the weekend. So there's plenty out here for you to check out. This is still coming up. I still fear we're not going to be able to get to what we need. Okay. Before we go too far, June 20th again, we're going to be covering ZSD 23.3 What's New. And let's see if we can kick this off as we exit here. Let's go to ZenWorks Control Center. Go back over here. I don't think it's ready yet. I'll go here, refresh. All right, let's see if it comes up. This guy's fairly slow, so I have a feeling that it's not going to make it. All right. Well, not to keep you any longer, you've seen the rest in other presentations of upgrades. Sorry I couldn't show it to you directly because I didn't have that 4.8.net in. But I do thank you for joining us, being here, and hope that you keep safe, and we can see you next time on this ZENcast. All right. Peace out. Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here.